What is going on, guys? It's been a while, but your boy's back. All right, so metamaterials today in the stock market, and not too bad. We're hovering around. We can't break that dollar. We're trying to break the dollar. It all depends on the market if it's going to let us or not. So in today's video, we're going to cover the earnings call. That's right. We got to give a big props over here to Uncle Smokey. He has the whole call posted on his channel, so make sure you go check it out. I will pin this entire call if you would want to go check it out. So thank you to Smokey for posting that. And I got some clips that we're going to use in today's video, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on what I've heard throughout that call. So real quick, here you can see the volume today is a little light. Average volume 6.2 million. We traded 3.1 million on MMAT. MMTLP was pretty close. Average volume 310,000, and we traded 280,000. Real quick here on the FinTel for MMAT, 7.11 days to cover. If we get out here and take a look, short shares. This was crazy. Most of the day it was down to 25,000 at one point, guys. And towards the end of the day, 1.7 million. So someone returned a boatload of shares at the end of the day. So pretty interesting there. Short bar fee is still hanging around 13%. That's pretty much where it was, I believe, a few days ago when I did my last video. We got the updated FINRA short volume ratio to 47.52 and aggregate short volume ratio at a 48.32. All right, guys, so now for the good, juicy stuff. That's right, we're going to go listen to what George and him have to say about the dividend. We are on the first part where George talks about and this part I call it kind of the introduction of what's going on here. So let's listen to what he has to say. We'll pause and make comments as needed.
Thank you, Rob, and good morning to everyone joining us on the call today. I would like to provide an update for holders on this next slide on the Series A preferred shares. The disposition of the oil and gas assets is now planned as a share exchange.
Which we kind of was expecting a share exchange. We know Ken has mentioned that about being a spinoff, which I had the clip from the Sterling interview where Ken pretty much said it's looking to be a spinoff. But that don't mean, because basically, as we know with the spinoff, it has to be, this sale can't happen under Meta's books, guys. So it has to be spun out into Nextbridge, and then it can be sold pretty much whenever. So once it is officially off Meta's books and into Nextbridge, then it could be sold.
Nextbridge Hydrocarbons will become a separate private company with a new management team owned by the Series A preferred stockholders.
Keep in mind there he said private, which is exactly what we want, is private. So we're not going to be on any open exchange to be shorted.
The registration statement, the Form S1, which was filed on July 15th, must become effective to complete the exchange. Timing for this depends on the SEC review and comment process. Typical timing for a first response is 45 days, but after the process becomes subject to further review and comments, if any.
So real quick, you can see they posted they sent that on July 15th, and today is August the 15th. So we are 30 days into this process. So we got another 15 days to see if the SEC is either going to approve it or send it back for adjustments or further comments. So we'll have to wait and see what we get on the next update from the SEC.
Costs for the oil and gas operations will be carried by Nextbridge, as to approximately $20 million of debt to Meta. This includes $15 million loaned last year and up to $5 million in 2022. Nextbridge, the new management for Nextbridge, is exploring financing options, and we are supporting their efforts. However, there cannot be any assurances that financing will be obtained and repayment of the debt to Meta may not occur. Please refer to the risk factors under our SEC filings and in the S1.
Okay, so that there's kind of a good thing, because we're going to be financing through Meta. So Meta's going to get a little bit of revenue from loaning this money out for the oil and gas assets. So I find that as a positive, that Meta's going to get some revenue, get that 8% interest on their money. So that's a good win-win. You know, we know the assets are going to be pretty darn valuable once we can get this to proven. Now, I got a next clip here that's very amazing. Now, this was at the beginning of the presentation, and you could tell George was pretty much reading that like word for word. He was pretty much textbook in his presentation on that. This next clip here I got out was at the end of that whole the earnings call, the conference, and it was a Q&A. And no one asked a question about the dividend. So we're going to hear what George has to say about this, and I find it very interesting because this gentleman here is about ready to end the call, and George interrupts him and is like, no, basically, I got to say this. So George did not have to do that. So let's listen to exactly how this all went down, and I found it very interesting.
Okay, thanks for your answers.
Hey. Thank you, Chris. Do we have any follow-ups from Mac or Jerry? Hearing no follow-ups.
Maybe just one thing, Rob. I know.
Right there, you can hear it. Rob was going to end the call, and George is like, maybe just this one thing, Rob. So let's hear what George has to say. In George we trust.
But there was no question about the assets. So I just wanted to make just a little note here. You know, we put the first slide in the agenda was the asset updates and the S1. You know, I just wanted to say that we stand by ready to maintain these assets according to our agreement with the University Lands. We are eager to make sure that these assets, you know, produce and further develop, and basically enabling the assets to be sold at the highest price possible.
What was that? What did he say? Let's listen to that again.
And basically enabling the assets to be sold at the highest price possible. And basically enabling the assets to be sold at the highest price possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said. Basically selling these at the highest price possible. I just wanted to hear that a few more times because, you know, sometimes you hear things and you may get it wrong. So sometimes just looping it there kind of sinks it in the home real quick. So let's continue on here.
Timing is fantastic for these right now, as we're in a kind of this super cycle for oil and natural gas in particular. I think the team has extensive experience drilling long laterals and optimizing for production from those laterals. And I think that's where you'll see more information and updates as we go through this S1 process. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. If you have questions, you may reach us at IR.
So I did find back there where George did make a comment about the oil and the natural gas, because usually it's just kind of like oil and gas assets. That's usually how it always is. But he did make it a point to say oil and natural gas assets. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking into it a little too much. This last little minute here or so was very bullish, in my opinion, for him to come out. And yeah, because usually on these calls, the first question is when divvy, when divvy. And this is one time that when divvy was not even asked, and George made it a point to bring it up. So I think he just, I don't know. I think that first part was like he had to read that for what it was. And maybe he just wanted to add a little extra onto it for what he feels. My prediction of what's going to happen, this will spin out into Nextbridge, and they will probably be further developing the land. And once this gets to proved, it could be proved already, we don't know. But once this gets to proved, they're going to have a buyer lined up or get the highest bidder out there, highest buyer out there, and this is going to be sold. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be a sold deal, and a dividend will come through the Nextbridge, private shares. That's just my personal opinion. I guess time will tell. And yeah, that's all I got for you in today's video. If you appreciate it, all I ask in return is to give your boy a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. While we're here real quick, let's take a look at the futures actually. S&P futures down 7 points. Dow futures are down 49 points. NASDAQ futures down 19 points. The Russell is down 3 points, and crude oil is down to $88. Wow, so it is coming down a little bit. But we will see what happens if the prices go back up. So, all right, I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Peace.